Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT The Game Season 2, Episode 64. We are being held in Massachusetts in front of 5,610 people. Let's get straight into the action. A limo is seen pulling up to the arena as Kathy Kelly has a camera crew with her and runs up to the limo. The door opens and out steps none other than Triple H. Kathy Kelly asks Triple H if she can have a word, and Triple H says, "Not now, Kathy, but tonight I'm going to address everything in the middle of the ring." Triple H walks off, and we fade into our video package. So the segment is of better announcing, got angled to strong shard. Kathy Kelly was a real star. Triple H came across well, 72B-, no work improvements. But a reminder, last week Triple H said he would come and take care of what Titus O'Neil was unable to take care of, and he's going to do exactly that tonight here at NXT, where he will address the NXT Heavyweight Championship situation. All right. Just the standard triple threat of announcers, just showing their faces on camera. I've mentioned it before. This segment is always between a 58 and a 62. So just to show the announcers, everybody, I like having my announcers shown on television at the beginning of a show because, quite frankly, I like to see the faces of the people I'm watching and who I will be living vicariously for the evening on screen. So this is exactly what this is. No comments, 60C plus. And in the future, I'll just skip right past this because this is basically just to let us know that, hey, if it's just this normal same thing every week, which it usually is because I'm just getting on screen to boost the popularity and everything else, then I'll just push past it. But again, announcers are here welcoming us to the show. In the opening match, Bobby Roode and Jushin Thunder Liger defeat Oney Lorcan and Mr. NXT when Jushin Liger defeated Mr. NXT by pinfall with a brainbuster. Oney Lorcan was the weak, struggling to keep up with everyone's performance, and Mr. NXT, due to a 2-on-1 attack during the middle, towards the end of the match, takes the pinfall loss here, as Jushin Liger gets a pin over the current NXT Heavyweight Champion. I don't recall booking Mr. NXT to lose tonight. I believe it was supposed to be Oney Lorcan, but hey, we're going to roll with it. Mr. NXT, we'll say, was distracted by Bobby Roode and took the loss. The Japanese legend, Jushin Liger, with the victory. So that's interesting. Mr. NXT with a 70, Bobby Roode with a 68, 32 for Lorcan, 53 for Liger. No worker improvements. The Heavyweight Championship hasn't lost heat. I would expect it to after this ending. And same thing with the Mega 12 storyline. But either way, 56C- for Roode and Liger teaming up with Lorcan and Mr. NXT. Now, Liger isn't going to be here for a long time. As you recall, on the Mega 12's Day 1, we announced that William Regal had brought him in for the tournament, much like he did for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn the first time. And that's exactly what happened. So Mr. NXT will be used sparingly on NXT TV, but basically just to kind of freshen up a couple matches, give a couple guys a couple different matches against a guy who's not an NXT regular, but will be participating through the tournament. 56C-. Next, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, the Elite, are walking to the ring. Kenny Omega makes his in-ring NXT debut coming up next. 72B-, no skill improvements. So Kenny Omega, guys, is going to be making his debut coming up next. But before we get there, a dark room casts a shadow for Aleister Black, who's sitting cross-legged with a camera looking directly at him. Aleister Black begins to reference the burial of Christopher Daniels. An angel fallen from above to test his strength, says Aleister Black. Daniels brought out the root of all evil in me, and I couldn't be more thankful. Chris, you did for me what was needed to be done. You made me question everything I thought I knew. My cresta was validated. My misery was identified. I feel as I am ready for a fight of my life tonight. Black closes his eyes as the camera zooms in on his face. Drew McIntyre, I do things you never could. Prepare, because tonight, says Aleister Black, I am calling you out. I am going to bring something in you that you didn't know was there. There is no truth in good. Prepare to fade to black. So an 87B+ for Aleister Black. Holy shit. I wanted to see what he would do without working with the script, and he did great. He was masterful. An 87B+, I was not expecting this, to be completely honest, from Aleister Black. I mean, he's like a 60, a 59, 60, 61 overness. He's over, but he's not like 87B+ over. So maybe we'll have to start pushing Aleister Black a little bit stronger in the future with segments as it relates to letting him be off script. So that was great. 87B+, completely unexpected. I'm very thrilled. And in the debut match, Kenny Omega defeats Ho-Ho Loon in 4:30 with the Croix Wrath. Tom Phillips and Steve Corino have pretty good chemistry. We know this. Ho-Ho Loon with a 33, Omega with a robust 69. Kenny Omega with the victory for the Elite, makes his debut and gets the victory. Next, we see Tyler Bate backstage walking into the office of Titus O'Neil, the current, for now, NXT commissioner. Bate shakes the hand of Titus and tells him he's heard great things about him in the UK, which Titus says he appreciates it. He tells him the Titus brand is going worldwide. Tyler Bate nods. Titus says he's here to pass along Tyler says that he's here to pass along that next week he's been booked against former NXT heavyweight champion Andrade Cien Almas. The crowd oos at this. Bate seems a bit unsure of himself, but thanks Titus for the opportunity. He asks, given that he has a match in just days away, he's curious who Dunn will be facing prior for him defending his championship in his contractual rematch that is Tyler Bate. Here's the thing, says Titus O'Neil. I'd like to keep things fair and even, Tyler, and it was up to me. Dunn would also be in the match. However, Triple H has made it very, very clear that Pete Dunne is not to be booked next week. Obviously, this is because Pete Dunne helped Triple H defeat William Regal at Legacy, starting the Manifest Destiny storyline. I see, says Bate. Titus nods, and the scene fades. Titus feeling for Bate. So, 68C+, and I thought, why not? Why not give Tyler Bate... You know, he got really over. Him and Bate got really over with that last match. I think he's won up like 6 despite the win and the loss. I think actually Dunn went up 7, I think, and Bate went up a 4 despite the loss. Because they're going on our, a very popular, iconic level pay-per-view that is Legacy or WrestleMania, quote unquote. And just being on the card, being not as over as they were, got them boosts either way, going from 30 to 40s and stuff. But they've been developing very, very slowly. So. Looks like Tyler Bate's going to get a big opportunity against Andrade Cien Almas. I thought, why not? Let's put him against Almas. Let's see what he can do in ring. Spoiler alert. Tyler Bate will not be winning next week. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, Tyler Bate versus Andrade Cien Almas, I'm extremely excited to see what he can do. And the Manifest Destiny storyline part 1 has continued. 68C+. Next, in a decent match, Roddy Strong defeats TJP in 13:02 with a submission with a stronghold. This was a technical masterclass. Needed more time. That's great. This match needed more time in order to achieve the aim. I think I put it at 13 minutes. I guess I should have had it at 15. 46 D rating. That's my bad. That's a booking failure on my end. 67 for Strong, though, which is great. 40 for TJP, which is not great, but he's not very over. He's only like a 25 overness. So a decent match. He wrestled to 15 above his overness. Strong wrestled to about 17 above his overness. So very, very strong match for the NXT Junior Heavyweight Champion and TJP. 46 isn't exactly what I would like to see, but the ratings were decent, so I'll be okay with that one. Next, we see Drew McIntyre is in the back standing with Kathy Kelly. Kathy asked Drew what he thought about Aleister Black calling him out prior to the main event match tonight on NXT. Drew McIntyre smiles arrogantly. McIntyre says Blake is a fine wrestler. Hell, a good hand, but what he lacks is a good head on his shoulders. He's crazy. I heard him in the back tonight calling me out, telling me that he's going to bring something out of me that I wasn't aware I had. Well, says Drew, I've done some soul searching recently, in case you've forgotten. I did it the entire time in which I was away from the WWE NXT brand. But if he wants a little extra, then tonight he'll get a little extra, Kathy. So Drew McIntyre is going to dig deep tonight, 68C+. Not that he doesn't always dig deep, but he's going to put a little bit extra against Aleister Black in tonight's main event. Kathy Kelly was a real star. Drew McIntyre was good. The angle got the crowd hotter. Drew McIntyre improvised well. So maybe no skill improvement, 68C. Maybe I go ahead and let these guys go off script a little bit more. Maybe I got a little bit better talkers than I thought I had on my brand. Not so controlling. All right, next, we get a recap from last week and the week prior where it was announced that at an NXT TakeOver rival, it would be the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, taking on the team of DIY and their partner, who's one of the good guys. This all comes into a head in just a few weeks. This all comes to a head in a few weeks at TakeOver rival. The Young Bucks look great again, which they just continue to get over. And I'm running into a situation where the Young Bucks, the DIY, AOP, and the Revival are literally 8 of my most 11 over workers. They're all over 60s as well. I don't want to break them up. So I'm going to be running with a strong tag team division, much like the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and to a lesser extent, 5 or 6 other teams in WWF back in the day who were really over in the tag team division. So we have a super fucking over tag team division right now. 84B+ tonight here on NXT. An absolutely amazing segment from the Bucks and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Just the recap alone. And who will they bring in? That's Johnny and Tommaso for their stable that is called House NXT or something along the lines of Game of Thrones House something. If you guys had any comments or suggestions for that, that'd be fucking great. But yeah, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa's good guy face stable of House NXT is what I'm calling it for right now. So we'll have to see. But a great 84B+ segment here. And in another match, in a match that had superb wrestling and decent reaction, the Iconic Trio defeated Becky Lynch and Hug Life in 12:49 when Peyton Royce defeated Becky Lynch by pinfall with a Hurricanrana. Eye candy went far too long for an eye candy match. My bad. But at 80 for Sasha, 82 for Becky, 86 for Bayley, 86, 79, 82. So, wow. These women, it's telling me that they're solid in ring and they're extremely attractive. So, that's great. Sasha Banks is improving her performance skills. And I went with this just to give the crowd a breather because we're going to have a big Triple H segment coming up still. And we still have a big main event. So, I wanted to actually give... I don't normally book these workers in eye candy matches. But given what I had coming up later, I wanted to break it up a little bit. So, 62C. Triple H's music now hits as he shows up on the ramp and makes his way towards the ring. He did a great job improvising, which is no surprising. He is the game. 78B. Triple H is in the ring and has a microphone. Triple H says he's going to get to the point because he doesn't have time. He's a busy man, and the fact that he had to take time out of his schedule because you're playing keep away with the NXT Heavyweight Championship is ridiculous. Triple H then calls out the entire Ellering Alliance. As their theme hits, Paul Ellering, the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor, Rachel Ellering, Ruby Riott, and Brodus Clay holding the NXT Heavyweight Championship hit the top of the ramp and begin to make their way towards the ring. As they enter, Paul Ellering and his daughter and Ruby are to the left, the Authors of Pain to the right, and Brodus is just a few steps behind all of them, NXT Heavyweight Championship in hand. So Mr. NXT will be glad to begin that title back. Triple H looks at Brodus and tells him to hand him the championship, please. Brodus looks at Ellering, who nods, and Brodus walks forward and drops the championship in the hands of Triple H. Triple H hasn't moved. So the single got the crowd hotter. Paul Ellering was dreadful. Razor came across well. So Paul Ellering, you're just awful. Jesus, I need to start rating you. I need to put you just not rated because you're just doing a bad job here. 84B+. Oh, wow, 98. This is even better. Triple H looks at Brodus and reminds him who he is and reminds him that he's not scared of anyone. Now, says Triple H, since Regal gave you a championship chance, Paul, well, I'm going to honor it. Hell, you gave back the title, so we'll even honor the match that Titus made last week that will put, officially, Brodus in a match at TakeOver Rival against Almas and Rude in a triple threat #1 contendership match for the NXT Heavyweight Championship. The fans cheer. That match will not be at NXT TakeOver Rival, though, as there will be no NXT Heavyweight Championship match on TakeOver that month. The fans boo. But mark my words, because of what you put me through, unlike Almas and Rude, Paul Ellering, having a title shot regardless, if Brodus Clay loses, that's it. No more title shots for Brodus Clay. So basically, here's the deal. Brodus Clay, as we, on that first episode of Season 2, came out, took the title. I mean, not only decided to cash in the championship opportunity that Regal had given Paul Ellering, which we thought was for the Authors of Pain, but he decided to use it for Brodus Clay, which there was nothing against it. It was a way to get Brodus debuted here. Because Brodus actually took the championship and wouldn't give it back as well, if he loses, he does not get another championship opportunity. Almas and Rude, whether they win or lose, are due championship rematches and will get those rematches eventually, be it on NXT or on TakeOver Specials. The fans, though, cheer again. Triple H says if they do anything like this, their contracts will become null and void. That's right, null and void. If they do anything like this again. Ruby Riott gets into the face of Triple H, who doesn't move, and Rachel pulls her back. That's right, so Ruby Riott's now in the face of Triple H. Triple H says that next week, the go-home show before NXT TakeOver Rival, since you're all feeling feisty, it's going to be the Ellering Alliance of Akam, Razor, Ruby Riott, and Brodus Clay taking on the glorious one, Bobby Roode, Ember Moon, and the Revival. Triple H leaves. The Ellering Alliance will test how good they are as a faction next week because Bobby Roode, Ember Moon, and the Revival are no easy task. So that's going to be a crazy match next week, a 4-on-4 tag team heavyweight. I mean, it's going to be a crazy match. I am extremely looking forward to that match. A 90A segment. Very, very solid. We are also reminded that next week we're going to see in our main event Roddy Strong, the current NXT Junior Heavyweight Champion, take on the man with his NXT Championship back in hand, Mr. NXT. So there's no skill improvements. A 74B-. Let's get straight into our main event now. 70C+, I'll take it. And about that, good wrestling and a decent reaction, Drew McIntyre defeats Aleister Black in 1751 with the Sky Trap. So a 69 from McIntyre, 66 for Black. Showed that these two could put on good matches, which was great. I also learned tonight that both were great improvising without a script, which I'm going to note as well in my game notes. And yeah, 70C+. The show will end with Drew McIntyre, not really standing over Aleister Black in a heelish way, but after a very, very hard-fought victory, defeating Aleister Black, who we've been pushing very strong, but not a very bad way, I don't think, to have Aleister Black finally take a loss here in NXT, first time in a while. And, you lose to a guy like Drew McIntyre, who was a former champion. I like doing this because there's too much now, there's too much 50-50 booking, and this, I don't want to make Aleister Black lose. I'm pushing him strong, but it's not going to kill Aleister Black to take a loss against Drew McIntyre. This adds to his story, adds to his continued path upwards, and still establishes a pecking order here in NXT. See my show. Hopefully it's 75. 76. Excellent. This show increased our popularity in 45 regions. This was NXT The Game, Season 2, Episode 64. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. That would be fantastic. Thank you guys, and have a glorious day.